It's 10 after the hour. Time now to look at the big picture. And, as we look to the big picture, we do see this trough that's digging in across the west. This is really where all of our action is. We find the upper level energy here that is going to build a snowstorm, even blizzard conditions, as we look to areas of Colorado and spreading across parts of the Rockies. As we also follow what's going to be happening, we'll be watching the south because this system is going to be driving down into the south. It will bring rain across Texas and Oklahoma and spread it eastward as we continue to go through the end of the week into the weekend. And, for some of you, you may think, oh, rain, snow, but a lot of folks are pretty happy to see the snow to play in. And even so, across parts of the south, we need the rainfall, so it will be beneficial. Let's focus in on one city that's expecting some rain, but not today. That will be the Atlanta area. In fact, we're going to find this afternoon even nicer than what you see now. It is already, though, in the low 60s, and you'll find increasing sunshine as we go into the afternoon in Atlanta. So this will be a nice afternoon to spend some time outside. As far as what we're going to be watching in the days to come, that wet weather that will first start here trekking across Texas and Oklahoma. Eventually, that's going to spread into Atlanta. So look for showery conditions, kind of hit and miss action as we go into the weekend, potentially some thunderstorms too as we work our way into Saturday and Sunday. So watch the Atlanta area, but still looking at some very mild conditions, Carl, here, like we have been seeing, although the numbers will come down a little bit, you see, after bouncing up on Sunday. And they're saying bring it on. But you look at the radar now, there's just not a whole lot that is happening here. And of course, we're going to wait and watch for everything to develop. We're following that system in the Rockies, and as it continues to build in intensity with that energy, it's going to continue to slide eastward. And what you'll find is that we're going to start to tap into some of this moisture in the Gulf. And rain, this is going to be a big rain producer, and that really is going to be beneficial for a lot of folks in this area. We're also going to be watching, of course, that upper level energy. Notice the jet stream here. And, where we can get that moisture and energy together, that's where we do have the potential for seeing some severe storms. So we like the rain, not necessarily that severe weather, though, but we'll be following this, and this is going to be moving in this evening. So really not going to see a whole lot going on today, but this evening, watch some of these areas. Amarillo, Lubbock, we're going to continue to monitor this as we go through the overnight, though. It'll shift a bit more eastward into Oklahoma City. Watch for potentially some spotty, damaging winds, also some hail. We can't rule out the possibility of some tornadoes as well with this. There won't be a lot with this, but still it is a potential. And anytime you have potential and it hits the right area, it certainly can be a very scary situation. As we continue into tomorrow, we will be expanding that severe threat once again, and we'll be watching for winds, hail, and again, the possibility of seeing some tornadoes. Now, Carl, I know you're going to take a little bit more down the line as we check out what's going to be happening. Well, as we look to the big picture, there's a big storm that'll be developing here. We're going to be following it in the Rockies, and this is going to bring significant snow as we look to Denver, some of the surrounding areas. So we're going to watch this system as it continues to slide here from the west, eventually into the south, and then also we're going to watch for some very mild temperatures to continue. We're going to see this in the south, and as we go through time, we will see some changes with some cooler air coming in, but it's not going to last real long. And that system bringing all that snow in and around Colorado and some of the surrounding areas, that is also going to bring some rain, and beneficial rain at that to the south, and ultimately it'll right up here into the mid-Atlantic, and that'll be affecting areas like Washington, D.C. In the meantime, Washington, D.C., another gorgeous day. Check it out, 51 degrees. Now consider your high temperature, your average high temperature this time of the year. It's about 44, 45. Well, you're going to find that that number will be much warmer than that. And I guess I've messed up here and I put Kansas City in. But what you're going to find in and around Washington, D.C. is yesterday we hit 72. So the cherry blossoms are out. Now in Kansas City, what we have here is 47. So we're also on the mild side. Again, watching that area of high pressure. And as we continue to go through time, we'll be watching that next system sliding in, and we'll follow that with some wet weather. And you can see some of the cold air that's coming in on the back side of that. Carl. The mild weather, they're not so sure if they like it cold anymore. Well, we are following Saturday Sunday, some rainy weather across the south. Now, this is the system that we're talking about that's going to be developing, bringing all of that snow into Denver. Well, you can still see on the back edge of this where we're looking at snow, Nebraska getting hit on Saturday, rain otherwise, and that includes areas like Texas stretching here really toward the Ohio Valley this weekend. While we still have mild air in the south, we are noticing that we've got that cooler air coming in with that system that'll spread eastward. We'll continue to monitor. Generally rain now on Sunday. You can see things are really petering out when it comes to that system across Colorado, and you're going to find Denver will be in the sunshine as we move into Sunday, and maybe just a slight chance of a shower for the Super Bowl, Carl. Well, as we look to the big picture, we do have a lot of action that we're going to be following. Some of you, though, will be kind of out of the loop of this system if you're in some of the northern areas that this snow, this rain will be avoiding. But we've got a lot of action that'll be developing for those of you across the west. And, you know, I know that this is going to be really a mess tomorrow because of travel, but I also know that there are a lot of people that love this wintry weather that are very excited about the snow that'll be coming in with this system. And ultimately, we're going to watch this system as it digs down across the southern part of the country, and with that we're going to find wet weather sliding through, and that also is going to be coming into areas that need some of the rain. Timing may not be good for some of us as it's going to be impacting some of our outdoor weekend plans, but all in all you're going to find that it should be beneficial. Now, on the northern end of this, some of you are barely going to get scraped with anything, and that includes areas like Chicago. And here, as we look to Chicago, boy oh boy, it is another very mild day, a quiet day in Chicago. You saw those temperatures there. We're going to be finding that once again today we've got very warm conditions coming through. As we look, we've got a few areas of fog, and we'll be monitoring that, but otherwise it is going to be quiet here today in the Chicago area. Watch, because as I mentioned, you're just kind of on the fringe of anything, so you probably aren't going to be getting a whole lot out of this system, but some of you, especially on the south side of the system, could be getting into a little bit of action as we look towards Sunday. You'll notice here that that temperature does stay fairly mild with those low 40s that are going to be on board in Chicago. As we continue to look down the line, we will find by Tuesday those numbers do start to come down, but until then a lot of you will enjoy the warmth. Carl? So much, Mark, and we're going to take a check here at the weekend, and you know, the weekend we still are looking at some of these areas of snowfall, so it just shows you the duration of this system. It's not a real fast mover, but look at how Nebraska, you're going to really feel the effects here on Saturday. Some of that moving into Iowa. Otherwise, it is rain that will be following. In fact, we're going to watch that rain as we go through tonight, tomorrow, and then into Saturday. Again, this will be slow moving. So some of you in Texas are going to get quite a bit of rainfall coming through, and then it'll spread eastward. A lot of it beneficial unless we start to see some problems with some flooding. Still looking mild in the southeast as we move into Sunday. Now it's mainly rain that we're watching, just a little bit of leftover action coming in across Colorado. Otherwise, a lot of areas will be quiet. Indianapolis, maybe a chance at a shower, but it looks like all in all you'll be pretty quiet for the Super Bowl. And as we look to the numbers, still some mild numbers that are around. Exactly. I actually think, you know, 59 is cold. All right, here we go. And I grew up in Minnesota. Here we go into the weekend, and some of you are going to be delighting in the cold and the snow that we have around. We are continuing to monitor what is going to be a very messy travel situation, but a wonderful experience for those of you that like to get out and play in the snow, whether it's snowmobiling or skiing. We're going to get that fresh snow coming through. Rain on the southern end of this system, and this too is going to be beneficial. The timing not great when it comes on a weekend. I know a lot of us have plans, but it will be helpful to see it stretching from Texas into Georgia, into Florida eventually too, because these areas all need the rainfall. Here's what we look at Sunday. Looks like all in all the Super Bowl should be pretty quiet. Good news there. We'll be back. And good Thursday too. Thank you so much for joining us here on Day on an important day. I'm Heather Tesch along with Carl Parker, and folks across the Rockies and the Plains, they are bracing for very subjective. I mean, I'd be giving this winter A++, but I know those of you that love snow and the colder weather, you're giving it a big F. Well, at least we're getting some snow, and it'll continue as we go into the weekend. Saturday, Nebraska, you're getting hit with the snow, more of that into Iowa, so get those snowmobiles revved up. In the south, we're talking about rain, and this is beneficial rain that'll be coming through. We're going to see it developing as we go through this evening and then continuing right on into the weekend. In fact, as we move into Sunday, just a slight chance that in Indianapolis for the Super Bowl you could have some showers. Most of it will be to the... It's 20 minutes before the top of the hour. A lot of action to follow here on our big picture. A big event that's going to be occurring in and around parts of the West, including Colorado. Denver, you're going to be right in the heart of it, and that is a winter storm and even a blizzard that'll be developing as we go through time. We're going to watch some of this energy here that is in the west continue to swing eastward and southward as we go through time, so others will be affected by some rain. But to start with, we're going to be following this. This system is going to continue to swing downward. Right now, we've got pretty mild temperatures here across the south, and we'll see some change in that. Not huge changes, though. And we'll find that as we go through time, that system will slide in that colder area to Texas and then also bring with it some rainfall and needed rain at that. But some of these areas that are on the northern fringe of it, you're not going to see a whole lot at all. Taking you now into Chicago, where it is already a mild 38, 40 degrees, depending on where you are in the Chicago area. And you know that this is your warmest winter so far in 80 years in Chicago. I'm sure a lot of you that are experiencing it, it's easy to believe because it has been such a mild go for you. A lot of these areas to the north have seen very little wintry weather, and it's been great for getting around and traveling, but not great for some of those outdoor sports. As we watch this system, you notice we're just kind of getting brushed with it here across northern portions of Illinois. So that's what we'll anticipate as we go through time. So not a big deal here in Chicago. We're going to hang on to some fairly mild numbers. Carl?
And stay tuned. We're going to continue our coverage.
Yeah, we hope to see some snow picks.